Hello, good morning from Norway. I bow to the divinity, to all of you who are participating physically or digitally in this conference. Because of my other travel plan, I could not come there physically to the great country with the great knowledge tradition, the great holy land of Bharat, India. But I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Swami Rama Himalayan University for inviting me to present my insight, my thoughts around integrating Indian wisdom traditions and modern science together for health and marital well-being. Marital well-being is a great issue. The relationship issue has been in a great focus here also in the Western world, despite the fact that GDP growth, just despite the fact that all advancement in the technology and science, look at what is happening inside the home. Inside the home, the global divorce rate, particularly in the so-called Western world, is so much that whatever kind of comfort, whatever kind of facility or social security they are getting from the system here, when the inner life is like that because of divorce, it doesn't make a great sense to me. India, compared to others, the low divorce rate, 1%, but because of its larger population, every year 1.5 million Indian marriages get divorced. A number of factors that is influencing, and many things are published in relationship science. So, following the Indian wisdom tradition, heyam dukkham anagatam, the pain which is yet to come is to be avoided. My friends, ladies and gentlemen, I know that whatever kind of economic well-being, economic agency power, financial capital you have, until and unless the marital relation, your relationship in your home will not be good, then the suffering is bound to come. But we can avoid that through right insight creation and right practice around it. So today, let me try myself to giving my own example in many cases to bring the case here. In the Western scientific literature, the marital intimacy is in a great focus when we are talking about relationship. It is the quality of a relationship in which both partners represent feeling of trust, feeling and relationship, and emotional closeness, that is feeling and relationships toward one another, and they can communicate openly or in multiple ways. So that is what the Western science says, mostly openly. But in our wisdom tradition in Bharatvarsha, we can communicate in multiple ways that I talk about. But all in all, what I would like to bring the Indian wisdom tradition is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a dialogue between the Mahatma Vidura of Mahabharata and Maitreya Rishi. And therefore, the Rishi Maitreya is giving example of Kardam Rishi, another Rishi who was doing tapasya for 10,000 years and asking the best, the nice bride for him. And then he got a best nice bride, the Devhuti. And what are the different things inside there? What are the different kind of dimension there in between in their marriages? And there the Maitreya Rishi is saying that Vishrambena Atmasauchena Gauravena Damena Cha Shishusriya Soherdena Vacha Madhuraya Chabho. So this was as you can see that the Devhuti and Kardam Rishis, this was the basis of their relationship. So what is there? Vishrambena Atma Sauchena Gauravena Damena Cha. Vishrambena means Vishramba is a Sanskrit word, means the trust or intimate confidence. दैट विश्वास निडर जिसको कहते हैं, निडर अभय का साथ जो विश्वास होता है, जो आत्मीयता जो होता है, विश्रम्भ. Therefore, without trust, the trees of relationship cannot flourish. Trust is the root. So, in the science, Vishramba, if you look at the scientific literature today, the Vishramba, the trustful intimacy that predicts the stability in marriage. And it has three dimensions, of course. The predictability has to be there, dependability, the mutual care has to be there, and also there has to be a both. If they have a same kind of faith in life, it makes a lot of sense. And when all these things are in place, whatever small thing you do like with the trust and feeling and relationship, then your oxytocin, dopamine bonding become great. The love release, the trust-based love releases different kind of interaction, and also that releases the oxytocin and dopamine in your nervous system, and these chemical promotes further trust and resilience. Look at how these couples in these examples are drinking, because there is a trust. If there would not have been a trust in this woman on this man, she would have been thinking, oh, maybe this guy is giving me the poison, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important for any small thing. Therefore, trust is the silent vow, that turns to life into an unbreakable journey, long, long. In our wisdom tradition in India, our life has continued for many more generations, many more life to come. And therefore, in other wisdom tradition apart from our also, like in Christianity, love, always trust. In Islam, it says that He, that means the Almighty Allah, place between you affection and mercy, that trust, that feeling and relationship is put by Allah. The trustworthy friend is the best companion, you know. Therefore, you have to build trust. Charity begins at home. The second, Vishrambena Atma Sauchena. That means that purity, inner purity, moral and cleanliness. Because that trust is not just a kind of, do not happens automatically. You have to build the inner purity in life, also some kind of moral principle. When it comes to the inner purity, Atma Sauch, cultivating inner clarity and emotional cleanliness is really required in life, and that comes from your what kind of culture, what kind of relationship, what kind of wisdom traditions you follow for inner purity. In Bharatvarsha, the Shankaracharya in Vedanta Siddhanta Sarvasar Sangraha, there are 7 ingredients for the inner purity of right. It starts with the food, and it is the same in the yoga also, the right food. Hita Mita Paribhoji. You also need for inner purity every day some meditation to clean up your head. Nityame Kanta Sebi, right speech also. Sakridachita Hitokti, and also quality sleep, and exercise, the Salpanidra Bihara, and Bihara means exercise here. Asunyamanashilo, the breathing exercise, and also time, action, synchrony. What you got to do in what time, we have to follow that one. And other thing that we have to be aware about inner purity, because we all have a negativity bias. we have a familiarity biases, and therefore these negative information can enter into our psyche very, very easily. It's very well known, and this was there for survival. But to bring some inner purity, that kind of thought, conception, cosmovision, you have to put a lot of conscious effort. Like you need to expand the horizon of this, the bottleneck here, and so that you can bring this green, this right positive thinking in your psyche. So learning to take in good, we have to learn from every small moments, every small kind of moments, joyful moment in our life, from doing puja and so on and so forth, getting blessing and absorb it. So marriage is a living process. A lot of work is done around emotional intimacy in marriage, sharing both positive and negative emotions with one another. Marriage is a living process, okay? One has to live with it. So small positive emotion, you have to build it, you have to create it. It do not happen automatically. You have to really, this feeling of closeness, connections, and also romantic relationship, you have to also bring those one in mind. But remember that not every time it is a goody goody. We also have a kind of, we are also part of nature. There is a fluctuation of hormone and endocrinology, particularly in women. There is a mood swings, they have a periods, they have many things. In those periods, men has to be extra careful, because otherwise relationship quality depends upon how actively you repair and you are responsive to her understanding the reality about those kind of fluctuation. And if we are able to, you know marriage can change couple personality, but not automatically. It changes through conscious practices such as inner purity, like that is this Sant Kabir says, Prem ki gali ati sakeri jame dono samaye. Okay, the path of love is so narrow that there is no place for two. For that we need the inner purity, Atma Sauchena, the inner purity. Many other wisdom tradition also talks about it. So this is very foundation for our life processes, not only for marital life. Blessed are the pure in heart. Okay, so from Christianity, from Islam, from Buddhism, for example, purify your mind. That is the teaching of all Buddha and Bodhisattvas. Create in me a pure heart, O God, so that I can love better, and so on. So then the next sutra is Gauravena, this sutra. So far we have covered Visrambhena Atma Sauchena Gauravena Damena Cha. Gauravena. Third one is, what is Gauravena really? So Gauravena, every couples look for respect from each other. So that time the basis of Kardam and Debhuti, one of the basis was that the respect for each other, seeing partner with dignity, to create some kind of social intimacy, that do some charity work together. And social intimacy in science refer to an individual involvement in different kind of charity activity, religious activity, social club, community organization, and charity work. And that gives a pride to each other. Okay. So I was taking my wife also to different places, including Africa, and doing some kind of charity work, and that gives her also a sense of pride, and sense of pride together, and then we have all a, together a kind of sense of pride. Nepal, and when I come home to Norway and give this envelope, you see, they recognize me because of you are there. You are my pride, and she also share that pride together. Therefore, Gaurava, the pride toward each other, is very important. Remember that contempt, the grida, this predicts divorce. Contempt triggers chronic activation of your sympathetic nervous system, always a threat response. The other sutra is the Dhamena. Our senses require some kind of regulation because there has been a lot of media and other kind of degrading media influence in our life. Very easily we get attracted to those one. Therefore, the Atma Niyantran, self-restraint, self-control, same self-regulation is dhamena, which is required. Pause before reacting. Many husband and a wife, some kind of stimuli comes from each other, and without even thinking, just immediately react instead of responding to that. So pause before reaction. That is what is regulation. And therefore, you see people who do not have Dhamma, even the great scientists like Stephen Hawking, you know, this Jeffrey Epstein case around, we have, if we do not have a restraint, even though we have achieved so big achievement in our life, what will happen? They will, one day or another day, it will come into the picture of whole world. So sexual desire is regulated by hippocampus and limbic system, but they are very powerful. And even you have a severe mental disabilities, if your brain is not trained, you look for sex club like Stephen Hawking was visiting sex club very regularly. And then particularly the men, in this world, when they are with a very many different kind of relationships, sooner or later, they suffer very much because they have been, harvesting and also putting the emotional contagion of many other women, for example, and also, taking away the hurt feeling because they truly love, but you had a very many relations. It is called Istri Lampat in the wisdom tradition, and there are many Istri Lampat in Purana and so on in our wisdom tradition also. So that Istri Lampat person, when he gets old, as if like, emotionally, many women's emotion is really following that person, and as if like many dogs are, snatching the flesh of this animal, psychologically, in some case physically also, a man can feel that way. So one has to be really careful about it. So next is, as I said already, Susasraya. What does it mean? Susasraya means caring, service, attentive or mindful support all the time, particularly in those moments where our spouse are weak, they need little more extra care and so on. That was also basis of the marriage between the Devhuti and the Kadam Rishis. Okay? Caring. I don't have to tell you many things because even if you see in the natural world, how learn from the mutual care in nature, how birds and animals demonstrate cooperative bonding. So when there is a lot of many meaningful cooperating bonding, the scientific literature says that there is a psycho-neuroimmunological evidence that love heals faster. If you are having a wound here or there, and if you have a loving relationship, your spouse or your wife is coming and telling you that, oh, you'll be soon better and this and that, the recovery rate is 40%. It is better. But hostile conflict delays wound healing by 40%, of the actual the time, because it creates a stress and poor immune system. Supportive relationship regulate immunity and wound healing. This is extremely important for each other. Sususraya, responsiveness builds also intimacy. No matter, in Nepal, in different ethnic group there, even though women needs in the old age, nobody is there, children are gone. She need to do a hairdressing. The man is doing that. The men are forgetting to wear their cap. And then other sutra is Sauhirdena. What is Sauhirdena? Here, the most of the Western psychology, the marital relationship, many thing has been just putting focus on this harmonious relationship. Sauhirdena, what is it? The intimacy, the friendship, the goodwill, the union we need to have. But this has been said in our wisdom tradition long, long ago in that dialogue between the Rishi Maitreya and Mahatma Vidura. Sauhirdena. We also need to have that, and for that, a good marriage is built on being true companions. What you think, what you speak, what you do should be aligned. Not that you say one thing all the time and you do different thing. Okay, therefore, जीवन साथी शिव पार्वती जैसे होने चाहिए. ओके, जो आपकी प्रतीक्षा भी करे और मिलने के बाद अनंत प्रेम भी करे. That kind of Sauhirdena. Okay, and therefore there are many human beings in their imagination in order to really, goal-directed imagination. When you look at some figure, some good relationship between Shiva and Shakti, and also Radha and Krishna, it also gives us those kinds. So there are different kind of, I have found, this kind of human creative imaginations around it in very many different ways, in different ways in there. And therefore, physical closeness also matters whenever you have a different kind of cultural activity, how some kind of tantric approach here. So study have shown that the touch, when you sometimes touch together, it releases the oxytocin hormones, is known to promote bonding and feeling of love. That, and also you allow your partner to sleep also properly, because otherwise how you become a friend, all philosophy, everything, and you just don't allow your partner to sleep. So partners co-regulate sleep quality. Okay, disturbed sleep, disrupted sleep escalate conflict and reduce to each other. And therefore this Sauhirdena, together, when two hearts walk in trust and reverence, even though longest journey become a path of light and love. So lastly, the Bada Bacha Madhuraya Chabho, that means the very nice uh, speech, talking gentle speech, and so on, kind and healing communication. In the Western psychology, they talk about lot of relationship science about communication and communication. All in all, Madhura Bak, soft start up with your conversation. It reduces the conflict. So voice is also a biological regulator in the marriage. A trusted partner, emotionally warm voices. A trusted partner's emotionally warm voices activate parasympathetic regulations. These slow heart rate, reduce cortisol, and increase emotional safety. Therefore, voice function as a biological signal or safety, not just the communication. So try to use a voice, a very nice prosthetic cues toward each other. Okay. Lastly, from my personal experience, it's not only the communication with a very nice voice, also time to time, activate your humor. You have to be humorous and make joke with each other. That is the communication in life, blissful and so on. So, all in all, what I've been saying is that we need marital intimacy, we need social intimacy, we need physical intimacy, intellectual intimacy, recreational intimacy also, and spiritual intimacy to keep our marital life. And for that, the Kardam Rishis and Devhuti, their life become a kind of model. Each of those sutra can be one in our wisdom tradition. So let the pranaya, the law of affection, attachment, intimacy in marital relationship should be value based, and also let everybody's marital life be great, and so on. And I would like to thank all these professors that I got insights from, and we are creating a course, a small modular course, uh, based on some of these idea and other idea also together, uh, in Nepal, and it will be given to the people, the students, and other way as a lifelong learning course. So thank you everybody here. And these are some of my immediate gurus who have been really helping me. I myself being a professor of international environment and development studies, but they are the one who become very helpful to this presentation. So thank you so much.